Hello, and welcome back to Rosalie Cottage. Is that what we're calling her now? I think that's what we're calling her now. The framers, the plumbers, the electricians have all been here this week, and almost everyone is done. The framing is done, complete, and I made two big changes since last week that I wanted to show you. And the electrician will finish tomorrow, and then next week drywall starts. So I thought, well, we have these last few days before the walls get closed back in, I would take the opportunity to go through and show you a few mysteries or secrets that the house has that I have yet to uncover. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, your guesses as to what some of these mysteries could be. But first, let's take a tour. There is officially a door in this middle room, the music room, which I think is going to go back to being a music room. And I'll share more about that later. But here we go, and now we have the bedroom. And you walk straight in here. And everything is framed out where the closet used to be. And here's the bathroom. Now, here's the big change. Remember last week I was talking about that there was an original door and I was putting a door over here. However, when I started looking at everything in here, I realized that they had put in 3 2x4s here to support this beam. And so it removed 6 inches from the wall that I thought I had. And I had been going back and forth over getting a queen bed instead of the king bed that I have. And that just sealed the deal, because when I started measuring, I realized even though I still had room for the king bed, it was just getting tighter and tighter. And if I put a queen bed in here instead, I could open up the original doorway, and which I did. And when I did that, because the other door was going to be over here, and you kind of were going to have to come in and jig-jog into this room. Once I removed that, then this space was open and I got a second closet. Now, obviously, all of this supporting has to be here for all of this work. So it can't be like one big long closet, but it's 2 closets almost the same size. And that's huge in the space because there was not a lot of closet space for this to be a primary bedroom. So now there are 2 closets. There's space for a pocket door here. And then the bathroom is all ready to go. Again, there'll be a clawfoot tub back there, which is getting delivered today. There's going to be a vanity here and the toilet. Now, if we go back to the dining room, you can see this is the way we went to get into the bedroom. Now, what used to be the hallway opening is now the entrance to the guest bathroom. So this was all hallway. Now it's closet and bathroom. So the vanity will be here. And the big change we made since last week was that there was a shower here that we were keeping. And after all the framing went in, the space for the toilet, everybody just decided was too small. So we took out the insert, we moved the toilet over here, and we're going to tile in a smaller shower in this corner, which I think is going to look a lot nicer. You know, it was a budget item to not be able to keep that existing shower, but I think that I'm going to be much happier with the end product. So that is the construction update. Next week is supposed to be both drywall and tile, so it will really be looking a lot different a week from today. All right, now let's talk about some house mysteries. I've got at least 4, maybe 5 for you, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are and see if we can solve some of these mysteries. But we actually have to start in the kitchen for this first mystery of the chimney. So here we are in the kitchen, right on the other side of the dining room. And look, there's this huge chimney in here. Goes all the way to the ceiling. And my guess for this was that remember, this house was built in 1900. So they would have had a wood cook stove, most likely. And my guess was that that cook stove sat right here with a 90-degree stovepipe that went into this space and then vented the smoke through the chimney. So when we measured for the bathroom, we knew that this right here went a little further into the bathroom, and we took that into account. So now coming back over here, this is the whole area where that chimney is. And here's where it is on the other side of the doorway. And when it got uncovered, I realized, well, this doesn't go straight through. Look, I can stick my hand back here. This is a completely separate brick post, chimney. I don't know. It goes all the way up and all the way down. And it does come here around the corner and do the same thing. But as far as we can tell, it either doesn't connect or only connects in some small spot to the kitchen chimney. So, mystery number one, what is the purpose of this brick wall? Now, I have to show you the upstairs and downstairs of the chimney to help you get a better look. But this is not that chimney. This is for the fireplace, and I'll get to that. That's a different mystery. If we come over here, here it is. This is the chimney that's in the bathroom. And it's built like this. It's not leaning. This is how chimneys were built back in the day in order to have them where you needed them to be in the house, but also match up with the framing up above. So this is the one that's in the bathroom. If there was another chimney for the kitchen, it would be right here. But it's not. And I don't know that it ever was. I thought maybe they took it out at some point, and maybe they did. But hard to say. Can you see that there's a old hole right there? So what was that purpose? I don't know. All right, let's go down to the cellar. All right, here we are in the cellar, and actually, I don't think we can see. I should ask the plumber, since he's been down here, what he was able to see, but you can see these are just cement walls. Check out the old mason jar. Down here, the footing for those chimneys or that post should be on the other side of that. That's where they should be. But there's really not much to see here. Okay, so let me know if you have any thoughts at all. Put them in the comments about mystery number one, the fireplace, and how they connect between these two, or if they do. And if they don't, what's the second one for? Okay, mystery number two, we have to come back into this same space. Now remember, you used to enter a hallway right here, and on the hallway there were two doors, a door here and a door down there. The door down there went to the primary bedroom. All of those walls are original, they're still plaster. So nothing has changed. That's exactly the size and shape of that room. In the middle here though, we had two bathrooms that at the very least were remodeled last summer, but I don't know if that's when they were first put in or if they were here before then, but regardless, they were never bathrooms to begin with. And so what was here is the question. And what we discovered the other day, that's gonna be really hard to see, but up here on the original ceiling, which is higher than the current ceiling, this is wallpaper. And when the light hits it just right, you can kind of see a brocade pattern. So whatever this room was nice enough to put wallpaper up. And yesterday I realized when we were standing in this space that in addition to wallpaper on the ceiling, let's see if I can show you, all the way up there, oh, it's hard to see, yeah, there it is. There's also a little wallpaper border that went around the room. So we've had a variety of different thoughts about, I mean, most likely it was a bedroom, right? That would make the most sense. It's not a big space. I would have to measure it, like 10 by 10, maybe. So, I mean, bedroom sized. And that's probably the most likely thing that it was. But maybe a dressing room, maybe a reading room. I'm not really sure. I would love to hear your thoughts though, because there was certainly some other space, some other function for this space in the house when it was first built. Okay, let's go to the living room for mystery number 3, which is the fireplace in the house. And this is not on the list of projects, so it's probably going to remain a mystery for a while unless I have a little extra funds at the end and just need to satisfy my curiosity. So let me show you the fireplace. Okay, here it is. And of course, everything's a mess right now because construction. So you look at it and you think, oh, that's nice. It looks like maybe it might be original, or maybe they've just done a few things to it. And when you look at the hearth here, this looks super old and original. It's all different kind of heights and levels, and it seems like really old brick. But when you look at this really close, what you see is faux painting. Sponge painting, maybe? And I mean, as far as faux painting goes, they did a good job on it, but definitely not original. And when you look down in here, you can see these bricks are different than these bricks. Then they don't line up. And this is at an angle, and this is straight. And so the theory that we've come up with so far is that this whole brick section was added on at some point. Also, obviously, they made it a gas fireplace. I assume it was coal to begin with. There is a coal chute down in the cellar, and probably, you know, because it's such a narrow box here, most likely this was a coal fireplace. And furthermore, when you come up here, what you see is, well, definitely, you know, not original trim, but look at what they did when they, oh, can we do this? There you go. Like, nobody in 1900 would have cut trim to fit around a fireplace. So the fireplace was never this wide. You know, of course we can ask the question of whether or not this opening was original or if it was different. I think that it might have been, because look at the floor. There definitely was a transition here of some kind. Maybe like a little arts and crafts pillar. And they did this on both sides. So, see how they cut the trim at some point? So the mystery here is related to mystery number 4, which is obviously the fireplace surround and mantle, whatever was here, was smaller than what is currently here. So do we think this was more of a Victorian style fireplace or a craftsman style fireplace? Let me know in the comments below, because obviously this is a centerpiece in the main part of the house. And if I do decide to pull this all apart and put something back here, I would kind of like to decide which era to go with. Okay, we got to come outside for mystery number 4, which is, what style do we think this house is? Is this a Victorian house or a craftsman house? Maybe a little of both. Okay, so never mind all the construction debris. it's a little easier to see from back here, and actually related to the fireplaces. So here is what I'm guessing is the square fireplace chimney. There is the chimney for the fireplace. But, and I don't know how easy it's going to be to see back here, the roof line on this house actually swoops a little bit. It comes down and out. I was concerned that it could be sagging during construction, and I had a roofer go up there and look at it, but it does this all the way around. You can kind of see it over here a little bit more. See how it kind of swoops right here? And the roofer came out and said, oh no, it was built that way. And in fact, he said, it's beautiful craftsmanship, and that's how it was made. It also has these exposed rafter tails, which we can take a little closer look at. So when we come over here to the side of the house, you can see they're not just straight boards. They kind of fan out. All you can see is my finger. But they're not, like, they also have a bit of style to them. And they're not just straight rafter boards. They were done like that on purpose. Now, looking at the house from the front, you can't really see the roof. But there is a lot of very unusual detail, including this checkerboard pattern in the bricks, which I've never seen anywhere else. I have looked and looked and used every search term I could come up with to try and find other houses with this style online, and I haven't found it. So I don't know if it was just a builder being cute. But there is another house on this same street, the next block down, that has the same checkerboard pattern, and it's a Victorian house. Now, these are concrete bricks, which are also became popular right around 1900. They're called rusticated blocks. And there's a machine with a mold in it that would make this. So you would pour all of your concrete in, and there would be a mold. Obviously, this is made to look like limestone. But it's concrete. And this is what the foundation of the house was. Although you can see over here, this part must have been added on at some point. Or they just made smooth bricks, which is also possible. But the real curious thing is, what's the deal with these pillars? That's also a style I'm not sure I've ever seen before and can't figure out. But as I've done some more research on arts and crafts style houses, I've learned there's a lot of Japanese influence in arts and crafts homes. And so I wonder if that's what they were going for here. But I would love to hear your thoughts. It's definitely a bungalow style. I don't really feel like it's a Victorian, like the neighbor's house is. But what do you think? Okay, so that's the 4 mysteries of the house. I would love your help to solve, or just, guess about. And I have a bonus 5th mystery, which is this house was likely here for decades without running water. And if that's the case, where is the well? And for that matter, where was the outhouse? I mean, presumably in the backyard. But if you've ever found an old well before, how'd you find it? How'd you know when you found it? I'm thinking maybe we might find like a rock or a concrete cover when we start digging for gardens, but I'd love to hear any of your ideas about if you've come across an old well on a property before, because maybe we'll find one here. So, okay, that's it for this week. Next week, these walls are all going to be closed in, and I'll just have to consult the photos if I want to look any further at anything. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.